What's up? Today we're making cacio e pepe. It's an incredibly tasty but at the same time super simple and easy pasta dish. It's only got 3 components: spaghetti, cheese and black pepper. But as simple and easy as it sounds, it's also super easy to mess up, unless you follow a few crucial steps that I'm gonna tell you all about. But Ro, why are you holding a pan, just standing there with your stupid bald head? How dare you? It's because I'm showing off my copper pan, but also because that's what we're gonna be cooking the pasta in. And that is the first crucial step. So let's get this thing on the stove, heating up, and then I'll tell you more about it. In the meantime, we can prep the black pepper and the cheese. So the black pepper, we're gonna wanna toast. It's only one of 3 ingredients, so we need to treat it right. I'm gonna use about, I'd say, a large teaspoon or a small tablespoon. And the reason why we want to toast the black pepper is that we want to activate the oils and the flavors. Into the pan it goes. Now if you're cooking with one of these pans with a brass handle, remember to put a cloth on, because I cannot tell you the amount of times that I burnt my hand. It's starting to smell nice and toasty. Alright. Let's take care of the cheese. Now traditionally cacio e pepe is made with just Pecorino Romano, but I like to do a 50-50 blend of Pecorino and Parmigiano Reggiano. And I know the purists out there are gonna be like, what are you doing? But hey, it tastes good, trust me. Bro, why are your cheeses already open and shredded? Because don't worry about it, that's why. Because maybe I already filmed this without the microphone turned on. As for a grater, we're gonna be using one of these things, the old school granny grater, because it's got these very fine teeth, and what we want for this pasta is very finely grated cheese, so that it can easily get emulsified in the sauce. This thing, too big, won't cut it, you need one of these. Alright, let's start with the pecorino. If you've never had pecorino, imagine just a saltier and softer parmesan. It's made of sheep's milk, so it's sharper and funkier than the parmesan. Alright, and now for some parm. The reason why I like to use the parmesan is that it balances the pecorino a little bit. It's got a milder, deeper, more complex flavor. Just whatever you do, don't buy the pre-grated stuff, because it's full of starch and all kinds of crap. If you can, buy the blocks and shred it yourself. Now this thing and toasting your black pepper aren't crucial steps, but they're important since we're only dealing with 3 ingredients. Okay, so I'm thinking about this much cheese for one person. I don't know how much this is, but by now you should be used to my measurements. Wash this thing under some very hot water. Don't use your sponge, that's just gonna get shredded to bits. Black peppies are done. We're gonna put that aside for the moment. Put these guys away. Turn on the heat here. And what we're gonna put these in is the pesto. Mortar, pesto and mortar, I never know which is which. And we're gonna keep this on the lowest heat because we want it nice and warm for when it's time to cook the spaghetti. Now let's get at it. You don't want to pulverize these to death. You still want a little bit of texture to them. You don't want black pepper powder. You definitely still want some texture. Something like that's perfect. Oh, it smells so good. It smells really sort of smoky and meaty almost. Very savory. Toasting the black pepper and grating the cheese yourself aren't crucial steps. Choosing the pasta dough, I would say, is one of the crucial steps. And that's because we're gonna use the starch in the spaghetti to thicken up the sauce. But before we talk pasta, I'm gonna put the kettle on, because we want some hot water to cook it in. Now in terms of how the pasta is made, there's generally 2 kinds. You got the yellow mass-produced stuff and then the paler, dustier looking pasta. I mean, that's what you want. These spaghetti are extruded through a bronze die, which is a slower process that keeps a lot of the starch onto the pasta. And this is what we're after. I never know what the right amount is for one person. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think this would be enough for one person, no? Every time. Alright, let's put these in the pan. Ready for some steam. I don't want to put too much water. I'd rather put more water if I need to than have too much water and the pasta's already cooked. Now a pair of these is very useful, especially when doing something like this. You want to go in and you want to separate these, especially in the beginning, so that they don't clump up. Fold them in so that they're all submerged. Now at this point we can add a pinch of salt to season the pasta, but remember, we're adding a lot of cheese and that's salty. See all this white stuff? That's all the starch coming out of the pasta. Now the reason why we're cooking this in the pan is we want to extract all that starch. As we're reducing the water, we're increasing the starch content, which we need to emulsify the cheese. If you were to put cheese in a sauce or water with low starch content, you'd get stringy bullshit. Alright, we're coming along. Just at any point, just pinch a little piece and give it a try. This one's almost there. It still has a little bit of bite to it, so probably a couple more minutes. You can see the viscosity of the liquid changing. It's a lot more snotty. Thanks, Roll, that sounds amazing. You're welcome. Yeah, we're good. Now, pay attention, last crucial step. Switch off the heat before adding the cheese and the black pepper. You want this to cool down slightly, and when I say slightly, I mean probably 10 degrees before you add the cheese. Because if you put the cheese in a pan that's too hot, it's gonna get clumpy. For this step, I'm gonna move the camera over here so you can see better what's happening. In fact, it looks like it can take a little bit more water. Now, giving this a minute before adding the cheese and the black pepper is also good for another reason. It's gonna let you know if it needs a little bit more water, because when you put the pasta on the plate, it's gonna tighten up a little bit. That extra minute gives it time to absorb some liquid, so it doesn't just tighten up and dry up on the plate. A splash more water. And we're gonna add some of our black pepper and some of the cheese. I actually like doing this in a few steps. Gradually emulsify the cheese into the liquid. I found that way it emulsifies better, and there's a lower chance of it developing clumps. And once you have the first dose, you can just dump the rest in, a little bit like mayonnaise. Look at that creaminess. You see that? No clumps whatsoever. Just beautiful, creamy, cheesy sauce. Look at that. Are you joking? All right, ready to plate. I'm gonna go in with the microplane this time. A little bit more peppies and some olive oil. Let's dig in. It's so creamy. And that's because we cooked it in the pan and we used all that starch from the pasta. Musica. It's incredibly juicy, that's the word. It's juicy, it's savory, it's umami. There's heat from the black pepper, but it's subdued. Again, it's almost meaty because we toasted it and released all those flavors. I hope you give it a try. Cacio e pepe is one of the tastiest pastas, and you need to know how to make it. All right, roll out.